YouTube. All right, so I'm back. Uh, Needed to kind of compare like when this was being painted and then it was wet and now it's dried. It looks a lot better. I'm kind of impressed, but it still needs a coating of probably like silicone just so that spots just to be a lot more durable. I think, indoor outdoor silicone is pretty good. Then I've got to do pretty much the center section, and it's got a few things, this harness and stuff in the way. I kind of paint through all that stuff. It's pretty much the top flap, a little bit of that, and the bottom. So I got the rubber glove and put the brush away. Stuff, I gotta tape up or glue some boxes. A few things with sealing and basically getting as much stuff cleaned up and or it's gonna be quite a challenge, but I need to get that so that I could really weatherproof these. And these are just in case boots for just matching up or just even just feeling normal, like I put some time into what I'm wearing and stuff. So get rid of a few things with the shoes mold. So I've got to get another piece and kind of try to find a good way to put this in and stuff, and then try to straighten out as much. It doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, after this I could silicone it and then just relax and touch up the helmet. Just basic. I should kind of size up. I'll probably use a different one for the sock, but it's more durable when I handle it. It's not going to break or tear. So alright, so I cut a couple of pieces. This could be a spare piece for other molding stuff. This one's actually for the shoe or the boots, and this one's for the socks. So let me get the silicone. Plan on what's really next, and so I put a pair of shoes, and then I use like some plastic creamer bottles on the inside. So, but first I'm gonna silicone only the bottom of half the side, and then I could turn it to the other side. I don't want to really do this upright until the very end, and then I've got to find a good way to place. So I'm going to be doing a few projects in here with weatherproofing, just kind of letting things, just trying to relax kind of this weekend. So I'm going to get the first pair, lay down the plastic and get the first pair and the silicone. Alright, so I got the silicone, and then I'm just going to mainly do just the bottom on one side so I could turn it to one side. So there's this side, and using this foam pad, it gets everything kind of leveled and, you know, coated, I think. So yeah, really good using the foam pad. And then I'm probably going to do just basically hold this like this. I don't know. So need to silicone as much as I can. Kind of underneath, really not too thick. Alright, so yeah, it's kind of like out of a horror movie. But yeah, I'm gonna touch up a little bit there and where I touched, I think. So Yeah, so no big deal. I just actually used the pad and then just got it to the spot, and I was just trying to hold it, but still a little bit off. I might have disturbed something on the other side, but yeah, this is pretty. And then with some of these work boots, I've got a few heavy rocks like this. I'm gonna actually uh, wrapped in and yeah, I've got enough rock, I guess, to fill these a little bit to give it a little more support. It's kind of interesting. Like when I first started YouTube, I started trying to but some concrete pieces, and they're supposed to. Well, it's been kind of helping just bulk up and get rid of a few things with the shoes mold. So I've got to sit around and see you guys in a minute. So the size of these boots, I'm not really very comfortable with the big pad for the most part, but the small pad hopefully works good. But yeah, maybe go with the big pad first, just to get stuff situated, or then yeah. Alright, so I use the big pad. I think I'm gonna keep using the big pad. I also want to probably get the rubber sole and things. It's almost finished with the big pad. So now, yeah, just get the tongue. I could actually do some of just everything with the big pad if I wanted to and stuff. So probably going to try to do that and use a small pad probably for the helmet. I've been looking for a pad, but I'm going to reuse these anytime I use certain types of silicone. Alright, so yeah, not too much of a mess and things like that with the holes. No big deal, but actually squeeze a bead around each of the both of the around um the sole and the leather where they meet. That should be finished up. I'm not going to really. I can wipe actually um kind of under or where the insole is before I do that. But just making sure everything is smoothed out, I think, and close to the edges. Probably fix the holes and things. So before I go on the inside, I'm gonna give this a little bit more. I could actually add a little bit more silicone to the pad and finish this up. Or actually using like a fingertip would be okay too. But just really wanted to just where some spots are, I could actually go over a few of the seams or the edges. I would what they really are. So just to make sure, how much rest and energy I have and stuff to do a few things. I took after I finish up something and stuff like that, I take one day off to sort out and clean up everything, and then kind of figure out when's a good time out of it. It's been a while since I wanted yeah, so I've got to figure out something to get more stuff. It's just like, you know, you look for free stuff, I guess, would be useful, but I don't know. I don't, the thing is, so it's a good thing that I have these headlights, because sometimes I really do a better job at just kind of finding and controlling a little bit. So I used the brush, the headlight, the brush, and actually ended up, finished off with the little stick. Especially the light is really helping me see what I need to paint. So, alright, so yeah, need to tip it a little bit. This little last spot, I don't know. You know, while I have the paint out and at this spot, I could think, no, that's green. Some of these, uh, I could kind of add some outline, just basically a little small, you know, reflection type of spots here and there. So yeah, um, kind of messed up. There's always like a little too much at the end. So, alright, so there's that, and then even like this spot right here looks. I think I just painted it, but it could be in between good and bad colors. I'm gonna try to do it again. I think I only used the brush. So I think that's what I painted. Put the paint away back. It did a little bit. Yeah, I could do a little outline here and there. Touched up a few things. Yeah, so just made things a little better. And then like around this spot, it's really not that good or anything. I've got one more tube, and then I'm gonna move on to other items. I've got a raincoat that kind of works with this. I might be able to clear coat the inside of that. I'm like making up stuff. But I got a raincoat right here, and I could actually use some. It's gonna take a lot of silicone, but you could, you know, I kind of have another type of material on the inside to kind of stay warm, but can be useful. And then I've got a bunch of jeans, or not a bunch, but a couple. I could, you know, definitely find old like pants and things. But I'm kind of making all these videos just in case, you know, if like one, it's also like keeping me really busy, but also it's like it's kind of keeping me on track with a few things. You know, kind of trimmed off as much as I can of the plastic part, and then hopefully it starts to clean. And I've got a spray bottle of paint, a water-based paint thinner. So I'm gonna spray some on there. I could also spray some inside of this laundry detergent. And that should be enough. And then now I'm going to start trying to clean and do a random dry cleaning test. Alright, so I used the paint thinner, dipped it inside of the detergent, let that soak in, and then I got a special, like it's basically pad or surface, I think. So I've got this small pad. I can test it here. It's basically a sock that I use, or a rag that I use with lacquer, and it's kind of hardened up. And lacquer actually does stick to like stickers or paint. It's not too abrasive like metal. I thought I got out the small stains with it, but yeah, it's not too bad. But even the big stain, it actually wanted to just scrub that off and stuff. So adding a little bit more detergent and things, and water-based paint thinner. Let that soak in a little bit, and I just kind of find a spot and start scrubbing it. Alright, so so that's how that is. You know, if I had all the resources, I mean, I could scrape it with like a not too sharp, something like this. So not too much pressure. I mean, using this tool is actually pretty good because it gives a little bit more pressure where I need it and stuff. And I might have to go through and stuff. So I use the pad and the pressure, kind of finding a good surface to start cleaning. The